Brilliance Audio.
The Quarter Storm by Veronica G. Henry. Performed by Robin Miles. Chapter 1. The mind could conjure all kinds of fanciful scenarios to assuage the guilt of a poor choice of last words. In my favored delusion, my mother and I were chatting it up while she window-shopped at Oakwood Center over in Tarrytown. That place was for her what my backyard peristyle was to me. A sanctuary. Had bon Dieu been merciful, the background noise of bustling shoppers would have spared her, my vitriol quieted to a few sharp words uttered under my breath. But God wasn't always available to answer servants' whims. In the end, the hurricane swallowed the apology I'd held off delivering until the next day and took a sizable chunk of the city with it. Papa had once again been the stubborn root of what I hadn't known at the time would be our final conflict. He'd always sat wedged between us like a parapet in a grisly, decades-long conflict. My father's singular focus was that his daughter continue the unbroken line of Vodou priests and priestesses dating back to Benin. Maman wanted a different life for me. Though she lost in the end, their fights on the matter were a thing of legend. And now the only thing I had left of her was a fragment of a text message that I'd saved on her phone, long since inoperable. 3 cryptic letters that taunted me whenever I closed my eyes. N-O-P. I found lost things for people all the time. Misplaced keys, money buried in backyard graves, a pet that had run off in search of a happier home. Even helped the police find my stolen car once. The water-gazing bowl's magic always uncovered many secrets. But I hadn't dared to look into those waters in service to myself in a long time. Their stubborn silence, both judgment and sentence. Longing, though rarer those last few years, sometimes overwhelmed my efforts at self-preservation. It was time to try again. The altar to my patron Erzulie sat on a small table in a corner of the living room facing the front door, both warning and welcome to all who entered. I lit the candles, fat round yellows, tall skinny reds and purples, a profusion of colorful strings of beads interwoven between them all. The small space was completed with an image of Erzulie's Vevey, an intricately sketched heart filled with stars and curlicues sprouting from the tips and corners. With no expendable cash for luxuries, a spritz of my homemade concoction served as a perfume offering. The water-gazing bowl, unused but for this purpose, rested at the center of a low table atop a white tablecloth. A thumbprint on the plain sterling silver rim caught my attention. It was stalling, but I whipped out a purified cloth and polished away the imperfection. A flutter of anxiety stilled my hands. When I saw myself reflected in the gleam, I knelt, planting my knees atop the golden cushion. The dubious muck that came out of your typical New Orleans faucet had never touched this bowl unaltered. The version I now splashed in had been boiled 3 times, run through a sieve, and blessed with the words of my religion. My heart swelled with hope and constricted with the disappointment of so many failed attempts. I knew better than to put myself through this again. But what kind of daughter gave up on her mother? I lowered my head, clasped my hands together, and whispered, "Ravel." Ripples played across the water's surface, as if stirred by a trail of unseen.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?